Alright then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. This is your press conference reaction, also team news as well, team news update, and of course the first press reaction we are gonna do with Mikel Arteta after signing his contract extension. I don't know, he must be that time when you've just got a job, a contract extension, you feel in charge, you feel powerful, you feel motivated, you feel spirited. But anyway, he's been speaking about a couple of things: the transfer market, Ben White, when do we expect him to be back, and a couple of other things. So make sure you stick around and we as we unpack whatever happened in that press conference. Do me a huge favor, hit that like button. 150 likes, that should be the target. That will do us a huge favor for this video. So let's see what the manager has been speaking about after signing his new contract, and of course as we prepare for the Leeds game on Sunday. On the team news, he said Ben White is still in contention, so he needs to train tomorrow to make sure that he is available to play and the rest of the team, there is no news. Everybody should be okay. So look, that is quite making me very, very correct on what I said on the recent team news. Saka is fit. Tomiyasu is back as well. Ben White is back as well, back in contention. But of course, we need to see whether he's going to be training tomorrow. And if he does, then he will be back in the side. So my question there is, would you play Rob Holding, kind of rewarding him for that beautiful performance against West Ham, or would you rather bring back Gabriel and Ben White partnership, which has actually had very, very good fruits for us throughout the season? I'd love to know. But for me, definitely, if it's Leeds. So there is no reason as to why we rush Ben White back. I mean, just give him a break. They played so many games. He's one of those players that played 38 games, 36 games for Brighton last campaign, and so he's already played more than 30 for us this campaign. So you just let him be, just let him rest, and play Rob Holding. I think it's Leeds. Yes, they do have some dangerous players. Stuart Dallas probably. You talk about Rafinha as well, but I think we can deal with them. They will score either way, but I think we'll score more than them. So on the team news, I can confirm Ben White is back in contention. He will need to train tomorrow to make sure that he's available to play on Sunday. But of course, no other team news. Everybody should be okay unless otherwise. On signing a new deal, he said, I'm very, very delighted. Obviously, from both sides, we have shown a real commitment to what we want to do together in this beautiful journey, and the plans and the vision that we share. That's the reason why I'm doing it. I think the club is doing it because we share the same beliefs, the same passion, the same level of trust about each other and how we are doing it. And I'm really excited about what we can do together. If you've not watched my video reacting to the interview that he made after signing his contract extension, 3 years, and of course, if you've not looked at that video, we said Mikel Arteta signed 3 more years as Arsenal manager, 3 more years until 2024-2025 campaign. That is done, dusted, and official. So make sure you check out the video. It's the only video I've uploaded today, so it won't be very, very hard for you to find. On facing Leeds, it's a lot to play for, and obviously the situation that they are in, they're going to show how much they want to get out of that zone as quickly as possible. For us, this is the defining moment of the season after everything we've done. So we want to capitalize on what we've done in the last 9 or 10 months. I think the point here, and I think I really get him. The point here when he talks about capitalizing, that word, because I mean, you can't capitalize on nothing. So what he wants to capitalize on is the fact that Spurs play Liverpool late night on Saturday. If there is any kind of window, if there is any kind of opportunity that Spurs lose that game or draw points, you can't lose that opportunity. You have to beat Leeds. And I think the point here is you want to go in that North London derby on Wednesday next week very, very safe, right? We can go in that North London derby 4 points clear or 5 points clear of Spurs. That literally means that we want a draw against Spurs if we can share points with them, look, it would be even better for us to beat them, because literally that means that we've qualified. But I think what will happen is that we will, we will want to share points with them. I mean, which won't be bad, and then go into that Newcastle game and look for 3 straight points. I think that will do the job. 4 points clear of Spurs, you share points with them, you stay 4 points clear of them, you win your next game against Newcastle. There is 1 game left to play. Literally, it's only 3 points. You have qualified. So I understand what he talks about when he says capitalizing this weekend. Please make sure you capitalize on Rangers reaching the Europa League final. He said, I'm so happy for them, especially with what happened in the last few days with Billy. He was someone that I love so much, and I have great memories, and just have to see the reaction everybody had towards him. So hopefully they can dedicate that obituary to him and go and lift the trophy now, because I can't imagine how Glasgow will be if they manage to win that trophy. On making improvements ahead of this weekend, he said hopefully we can play better with the ball than we did. It is true that as well we did a lot of good things in that game to earn the right to win. The way we competed, the way we managed the strength of West Ham, and how much we limited them. Yeah, every game has different demands, and against Leeds it will be a completely different game. The way they play, but really, really competitive as well. And I don't disagree with them. Look, I've looked at a couple of match reactions, especially on Twitter, because look, on Twitter it's easy. Someone's thoughts are put into, like, can I say like 5 lines, 6 lines, so it's easy. And I was looking at people saying, "Oh, we didn't play poorly. We played well because we won," and everything like that. And I think I'm really glad that Mikel points to it. I don't want to be that deluded, and I don't want to be that negative. I think we took the points away from West Ham, but then we didn't play that well. We didn't really play that well. This was a West Ham side that was divided, double attention. They had to think about Frankfurt. They had to think about us. And they've lost both games, by the way. But if you look at how West Ham played against Frankfurt, Frankfurt created nearly 10 chances per 45 minutes. Nearly 10 chances per 45 minutes. So I thought we competed well, but the challenge was a little bit not there. But of course, he says, look, the Leeds game has different demands, and I completely agree with them. So we've got to do absolutely better. On the last game against Leeds, showing progression, he says I think we started the game really, really strongly. It's true that the context was different. They had a lot of COVID players at the time, and they were struggling with numbers. We were in a strong position at the moment. It will be different now. The situation is different. They have a new manager. They have changed a few things in their organization, and never 2 games are the same. And it's true. I think this season we've also been carried by some decisions. Look, I hate the FA. They want to screw us with the Premier League and everything like that, because they just put Chelsea and Man United together. And the way we won that game, the manner in which we won that game is absolutely confusing, because we won both games. And for me, I couldn't believe it. But I think what Mikel points to here is the fact that, when we played Leeds first, you need to know that it was not the Leeds that they are. I've watched them against Man City. They lost 4-0. But if you go and watch the interview of their manager, he says the result really doesn't tell the competition that happened on the pitch. And it was true, because in the first half, I think Leeds had done a very, very great job. They limited Manchester City on so many occasions, and I thought the goal they conceded was a foolish one to concede against Manchester City, because there is no way you have to let Lodri just get a free header in your penalty area. Good ball in from Phil Foden, but I think they have to do better. But after that, City have the ball, they control it, of course they always do. But then you find the Leeds really had done a very, very good job. In the second half, they fell apart, right? And they didn't fall apart at once. They kept on creating those, chances, trying to play in the likes of Rafinha, the likes of Danny James, trying to find, those balls, trying to field those balls into the forward players. Yes, it didn't come off. But, in the end, I thought they really put in a very, very good show. On the Leeds style, so it's a game that they change, especially their formation, because they never played that before facing Manchester City. We were aware that they can't do either of those. You can look at the history of the coach and what he's done. He's always been very consistent, very defined, very defined way of playing, and plays very attractive, in my opinion. Way to play football. So I'm expecting something familiar. Look, I think this is a changed Leeds. I think this is a changed Leeds. This is a Leeds that can defend football. This is a Leeds that is not afraid and is happy to get on the ball and bring it to you, like head on. And I think Manchester City did struggle on a couple of occasions. I think, look, in that game, I didn't really quite understand, because I was not really looking at it like I wanted to analyze it. I just wanted to see how City drop points against Leeds, and it was never going to happen. But what I did so, though, is that, one, they failed to play Rafinha. They failed to get Rafinha in the game. But then they found other outlets and other ways to get into the final third against Man City, and that is something very scary, because we've known them as a team that doesn't stand in attack without Rafinha. And also the defensive part of them, I think, yes, they've really improved a lot. That is one thing Marcelo Bielsa didn't do. He never cared about how many do I concede. He always wanted an attractive game. He always wanted a beautiful game. And I agree with Mikhail. A lot has changed with them, especially with the arrival of Marsh, on how important he thinks the fans have been to the results on the pitch. And he says it is lifting, that chemistry and that connection is growing every single week. And now you can sense that the players certainly do it. They talk about the difference that it makes to play in the stadium. But even when we are away from home, the incredible support that we get, that was something that we were missing in the last 2 years. We discussed that many times. In my opinion, that is the game changer. It is their energy, it is their emotions towards the team that really is contagious. We the fans, look, big up to yourselves, Arsenal fans. Big up to yourselves. Just smash a like on the video to show me that you have received the love from Mikhail. Let me know. Okay. On the Lewis Downford song becoming a local anthem. And he said, I have had thousands and thousands of requests from all our supporters to go and do something about it. We want to listen to them. It's great because they are bringing they're bringing all of the initiatives now. We don't have to do anything. It's up to them. They feel it. They want to earn it. They do a lot of things around the stadium, and as well, we all notice. So let's give it a push. If that's what we want to do, and that's how we want to be seen and feel like, I think there is no better way than to go ahead and do it when you feel it. All right. On whether his starting 11 is untouchable despite interest from other clubs, right? Because the players that have been linked with a move away from the club in our starting 11, you have Gabriel Magalhaes linked with Barca and Juve. You have Saka linked with Liverpool, but I don't think that is strong. You have Xhaka as well linked with Roma. Yeah, I think that's it. And Kieran Tierney linked with Real Madrid. Yeah, and Kieran Tierney linked with Real Madrid. So 4 players linked with moves away. And this is what he said on his starting 11 being untouchable. He said, well, what we want to do is to improve the team, the squad. Obviously, we know that there is not a player that doesn't have a margin to improve or evolve in his way for playing all career. So we want to retain our best players for sure, and we want to add into that more quality and depth to be more competitive. They are not for sale. I mean, why does he have to say so many words? Just say it They are not for sale. Nobody's for sale in this team. As simple as that. On previous Arsenal teams having to sell star players, and whether this time is different with the journey we are on. And it says, well, what we have been really prepared for is when we are going to do that, and why we are going to do that. We can control those timings, and we have the decision making on when is the right time to do it, and be prepared for that. Sometimes it is negative because you cannot offer the same competition level as they have been offered, or because you think it's the right moment to make a move. But in principle, we want to maintain our best players and keep them and get better. Now that is frightening. That is frightening. Look, I'm gonna say this bullshit, right? I'm gonna say this bullshit, kind of reminding you of what 90 Min reported in the summer. Because what 90 Min's initial report read that Arsenal were looking at young talents that could be developed and then sold at a bigger price. The last part of that seems to have been forgotten. But then I'm reminded of that when he says, listen, he says, well, what we have to be really prepared for is when we are going to do that and why we are going to do that. We can't control those timings, and we have the decision making on when is the right time to do it, and be prepared for it. So sometimes it is negative because you cannot control the offer. You cannot offer the same competition level as they have been offered. You know what that means? That means that, and I think he's absolutely right, because players always move. It could be Toni Kroos from Bayern to Madrid. It could be Luka Modric from Tottenham to Madrid. It could be Cesc Fabregas from Arsenal to Barca. Players always move, right? But that's scary. That is scary. On the timeline around his new contract, he says the club was so decisive and committed to it now, to do it, and now they wanted to bring clarity starting from the ownership about what we are doing and show the stability and commitment to the project, and don't have to worry or something about any of that. Whether we want to recruit players or keep the players that we want, and they can see a clear path in the future, and there is no question marks around there. On when he told the players that he was signing a new contract, it says they found out this morning. Wow, that was so secretive. Says some of them have been asking me for months because they have questions about their individual futures, because they read some news as well that is not something I want to be talking about. I want zero distraction about that. So this afternoon, that's done. It's clear for the future, and now the focus is on Leeds. Yeah. So look, the news he's talking about is the stories that were linking him to, Brazilian coach, or national team coach, Tite, to Arsenal. And he says, but of course, Tite came out and said, look, those are not true. I'm not joining Arsenal, and I'm sorry to any Arsenal fans who have been distracted. I'd never believed that story, and I never did this story though. On how it affects the summer. Interesting. He says, so we can explain to the players. He says, so we can explain the players. So when we are discussing the possibility of prolonging their stay or recruiting someone who is playing for a different club, you have to explain how we are going to do it, and in detail, so they know and expect clearly what they're going to believe if they join our club. In order to do that, the club thought it was the best moment to do it. Look, I don't disagree. If you look at how we are recruiting players, it is Edu and Mikel. They're at the heart of it. They're at the center of it. So you've got to, you cannot have a manager whose future is in absolute jeopardy, hanging in balance, and then you just say, look, I'm Mikel Arteta, my contract is running down, but I want you to sign for Arsenal because we have a project going on. Nigga, are you serious? So I think it's true. I think it's 100% true. You need to have that level of commitment. The owners, the club has to show that level of commitment in you so that you can, try to convince others as well. Okay. On whether it was linked to European qualification, and he says the club offered me the contract when we lost 3 matches. Wow, interesting. That day I went. Listen. That day I went like this. What's this word? Is this kind of some metaphor I've never seen in my life? Like chapeau. Is this kind of reaction? And it says, and that doesn't happen in football. That's a part of what what they think, the conversations they have, the belief that they have in myself, the coaching and staff in what we're doing, and the people that we have now at the football club and leading this football club. And I haven't ever seen it, and I just got emotional when I just got emotional when I saw it, and I said, you guys are serious, and and committed, and I would push better forward. He was offered a contract when we lost 3 games. Now I do not know the stage where he was offered this contract, because we lost 3 games on a bounce at the beginning of the season, and then we lost 3 games on a bounce before we beat West Ham, Chelsea, and United. Was it the recent wins, or was it? I do not know. On whether the contract offer is driving him forward, says words and facts are very, very different things. And in football, they can be extremely different in relation to the results, and it's not the case. So they meant something for many months. The conversations that we had, and they put it in a piece of paper after that day. And for me, there is no better way to describe the people that we have at the club. So that's Mikel Arteta speaking to the press ahead of our Leeds game. Obviously, that is my reaction. 22 minutes, Jesus Christ. We talked a lot, but make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Mikel signs a new contract. Ben White is back. Leeds next. I'll speak to you in the next one tomorrow. I'll be coming up with my preview and predicted lineup, a video on how to beat Leeds. Transfers are back as well, starting tomorrow. Good night.